We're here with Tom Johnston from the Doobie Brothers. Congratulations on the news that you're going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much. We are thrilled.
Yeah. Where were you when you got the news?
I was right here at my house, actually.
Yeah, and what was your reaction?
First, it's kind of like surreal. You don't really believe it's happening. We've been popping this around, talking about it every once in a while. It just comes up like once a year or something. We talk about it probably around the time that it happens, I guess. And then we go back to work mode and it kind of gets forgotten. But I have to say, it's an honor because there's a way of looking at this that somebody brought to my attention. There's only like 250 acts in the Hall of Fame or something like that. That's not the exact amount, but out of, God, I don't know how many tens of thousands of people out there making music, have been making music, and it's a real honor to get pulled into, be allowed into that select group and honored by your peers. And the fans, who we couldn't do this without, of course, are a huge part of that. And it's just amazing. It really is.
Have you ever been to the Rock Hall?
I have, yeah.
And
I've been there probably 4 times, I guess, over a span of somewhere in the 90s till probably 3 years ago was the last time I was there. So it's changed a lot. I watched it go through myriad changes.
What do you think?
Fixed it up. It's cool.
What do you think it's going to be like when you see your memorabilia, your legacy honored there amongst all the other greats?
It's mind-boggling to think you're going to be in with some of your heroes, you know, some of the people that you grew up listening to, like Little Richard and probably Bo Diddley's in there, I'm sure, and rockers like Cream, like, you know, it goes on and on. I can't think about Chuck Berry. Just so many people that I grew up listening to and kind of fashioned my stuff after, or at least they influenced how I thought about music and how I played and wrote music and sang and all those kinds of things. It's really something else.
And you have to like the timing of this, considering you're celebrating the Doobie Brothers' 50th anniversary this year.
Yeah, this all the way around is going to be a pretty amazing year. I mean, we didn't know this was going to happen, but we knew the 50th anniversary tour was going to happen, and that's going to be special because we're going to take Mike out with us. And we're going to be out for quite a while, so we're going to cover all the bases. We'll cover all genres of the band with, you know, Mike doing his stuff, us doing our stuff, and it all becomes part of the Doobie Brothers anyway. And really looking forward to it. And the other thing is, it's great to honor the guys that have helped us get here that aren't with us any longer, like Keith Knudsen and Mike Hossack, Cornelius Bumpus, Bobby LeCarn. They've all passed on. And the members that have been with us, you know, through a lot. John Hartman and I started this band with Taft, you know, back at the very beginning. Tyron Porter was a bass player for years and years. Jeff Baxter, great guitar player. I'm assuming they're all going to be there that night, and I think it's going to be really cool.
You mentioned all the guys that are going in with you. There's been other people that have come in and out of the band over the years. Do you feel like anybody's being left out?
There's been people that were there for a short period of time. Chet McCracken is another drummer. I'm trying to remember. There's been a lot of flow-through. There's been people come and people go. But actually, Guy Allison, a keyboard player, was with us for a while. We now have Bill Payne playing keyboards with us. We have John Cowan playing bass, Mark Russo playing sax. We have Ed Toth on drums, and we have Mark Quignone playing percussion. That's the present band that we go on the road with. And they're all top-flight players. I guess probably know about Bill Payne anyway. And he was with Little Feat for years.
Yeah.
Started the band with Lowell George. It's just, we've been really fortunate in a lot of ways. We've been very fortunate to play with great people, to work with a great producer in Ted Templeman, and then later on other people. We're also doing new music. We're not doing it. Actually, we got 5 songs in the can right now. It's going to be an EP that's going to come out with a tour. It'll be out, you know, at some time, I think, in April or May or something like that. So there's a lot of things encompassed in this year. You've got Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now, which is huge. The tour, the music, new music, and a book.
You do have a busy plate right now.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. I mean, who would ever thought, and I've been asked this many times, and anybody that asks me this, I always reply, how in the world would you know? You know, you're in the midst of doing whatever you're doing, and you have no idea what's going to happen in the future. But had I known it was going to turn out this way, I don't know. I don't know how you'd react. I got to say, it's really been an amazing ride so far. Really have. I think everybody feels that way. We're all feeling pretty fortunate that we're still out playing and people want to see us, and we're still doing it.
Yeah.
We're still rocking it.
Have you given any thought to who you'd want to induct you at the ceremony?
There's been names tossed around. I don't know who that's going to be yet. I was just talking with management last night about that. There's a few names that have been, there's been like, I think 4 names tossed up. But at this point, nobody's been completely selected. So that, well, I'll know later. I don't know it at this point.
Or how about what you want to play that night? I mean, given your catalog, I can't imagine that's going to be an easy task to pick 3 or 4 songs.
One part of it that is easy is you're going to want to show off assets of the band. Mike will be there, of course, Mike McDonald. So it's going to be songs by myself, Michael, Pat, and I think we're limited to how many songs we can do anyway. I'm like 3 or 4 songs or something like that. So you can't get too extravagant in what you're putting down. It kind of limits the amount of decision-making that's involved. But that's my understanding at this point anyway. I'm sure that's due to change on a regular basis. But that's what I'm hearing now. And if that's the case, it's pretty easy to do as far as selection goes.
What do you think of the other members of your class?
Diverse. Very diverse. Whitney Houston was an incredible singer. You know, I have to sit and look at it. I've been on the phone all day yesterday. I haven't had a chance to really sit and dwell on this, but I'm going to get to. Trying to see. Whitney Houston, 9 Inch Nails, Trent Reznor and Company. I think another really good rock band. Can you help me out here?
Yeah,
I don't have it in front of me.
Depeche Mode.
Depeche Mode. Yeah, I'm not as familiar with those guys as they should be. I think they're more of a, what are they called, glam rock or something like that?
Like
I think they're kind of like out of the
80s synth rock. You know, synthesized.
Synth rock, okay.
Yeah. Also,
I have a bad habit of just working and listening to stuff I've been listening to for years, so it's kind of, the onus is on me to get caught up on what's going on in the world as far as music goes. I mean, I hear about it. I have 2 kids, and they kind of keep me abreast of a lot of stuff, but only in the stuff they want to listen to, so it doesn't necessarily include everybody. I don't want to leave anybody out. T-Rex we toured with back in 1972. That was an interesting tour. It really was.
Yeah.
Colorful guy. He was a good entertainer. The crowd loved it.
What stood out to you about that tour? What made it so interesting?
He was a character. I mean, we toured via airliner, so that's nuts in the first place. But he was just always having fun. He was always doing kind of wild stuff, hanging around the airport, and when we get to the shows, it was a continuation of that. And then on days off, sometimes we'd see all the guys, him and the guys in the band, and we just kind of hung out, and sometimes it was wild and crazy. The shows, I have to say, were something else. I'd never seen anything like that before or since. Very colorful.
That's a good way to
describe fun guys, they were.
Yeah. So, 50 years of rocking with the Doobie Brothers. What has kept you going all this time?
Love of music, love of working. This band loves to play live. I'm one of those guys that really is into that end of it. I think without that, the band would have petered out. I think the fact that we still have a large following and there's a demand to see the band, we tour every year. The only time we didn't tour was, well, I left the band in 77 for a stint and did a couple of solo albums. And then the band broke up in 82, and then we all got back together in 87 to do the benefit for the Vietnam vets that Keith Knudsen put together. And that was everybody. I mean, 4 drummers, 4 guitar players, 1 bass player, and 2 keyboard players. And we did quite a few shows after we did that. And that was the start of the whole thing. And then Ted Templeman said to us, why don't you guys get back to the regular format you were doing, or the original format, and do a new album? And we talked about it with myself and Pat Simmons, Mike Hossack, Tyron Porter, and John Hartman. And Jeff Baxter, come to think of it. And we said, yeah, why not? So we did it, but we didn't do it till 89. That was in 88 when we were talking to him about it. And we ended up doing it with Capitol rather than Warner Brothers. But that was the start of the whole thing, and we've been going ever since again.
Well, you and the band will be at Blossom Music Center later this summer. I believe it's July 22nd. You touched on this a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I love that place. We play there almost every year. It's a great venue.
Yeah, what can fans expect from the show? I know you mentioned you're going to kind of go through all the eras, so to speak, but anything else they should be looking for?
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things about this show is you get to hear all these kinds of music, and you get to hear the people singing it that sang it in the original format. And it's just an added treat. It's fun for us to play, and it's good to have Mike around. He's a great guy and very talented dude. And then we'll be blasting away with the stuff that we always do, and maybe some new stuff. I think we're going to do a couple of new songs off the EP. Mm-hmm. We're carrying a horn section with us, 3-piece. It's just, I think we're going to have some small video things happening. I'm not really sure about all that. That's all still up in the air. But it's going to be a really good show. And it's being opened by something that's a treat. And I really want people to know about this. It's called the Dirty Dozen Brass Band out of New Orleans. And they are incredible. It's like real New Orleans music. And it's not a regular, co-headline kind of thing. It's having something special to start the show. And I think that's a real treat, too. So all in all, it's going to be a really cool package.
You mentioned you've been coming to Blossom for a long time. Do you have any favorite memories of performing in Cleveland over the years?
I don't have specific memories of, like, one day somebody, jumped up on stage and started grabbing the mic or anything like that. It's just been the crowds are real receptive and responsive, and they get up and they sing, and they're part of the show as far as I'm concerned. Mm-hmm. And that's really what makes for a great concert. And Blossom has always been that way, and I always look forward to playing there for that reason. Plus, it's a neat old venue. We've been going there for a long time. Yeah. It's, it's very familiar.
Yeah. Getting into Hall of Fame can make folks, a little nostalgic. As you look back at your career to date, what do you treasure most about it?
That's a hard one to answer in a sense. I think, what do I treasure most about it? The successes that we've had, the fun. I think mostly the fun that we have while we're playing live. I think that's just incredible. I love going in the studio and working there, but interacting with the crowd to me is what it's all about. That's an amazing feeling. Yeah. To get people to respond to you. I can tell you one other thing that really means a lot to me. The songs that we've written that have lasted all this time and are still getting played. The songs that have stood the test of time. People know them everywhere. I hear them anywhere and everywhere. And people come up and talk to you about how a certain song really meant something in their life, be it anything from the Vietnam War to getting married to partying their ass off to any number of things. Or they played it in a band, or they're still playing it in a band. It's just a cool thing to have songs that people know that well and that are still being played today. That, to me, is a very, very large part of anything that's going on and something to be proud of.
Anything you wish, in particular, maybe you wish you had done differently?
Probably not, really. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here now, so I don't know if I'd change anything.
If you hadn't done it this way, who knows where you would be.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you've got the tour, you've got Rock Hall inductions, you've got new album, new book coming out. Anything else coming up for you guys?
No, that's a pretty good menu for right now. I mean, we've got the tour starts in June, doesn't finish until October, and we might possibly go overseas after that. So it's going to be a very busy year.
Thank you so much for your time, Tom. And again, congratulations on the well-deserved induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Cleveland's very happy for you.
Thank you so much.
We look forward to seeing you here in May.
We appreciate it. Thank you very much.